Hi guys, welcome back to another video yap. On today's video, I'm gonna talk about how I centralized myself on education and how I realized soon very on that the men in my life, for good or for better, have either strayed me away from my education and how I stayed on top of it no matter what. And I'm also gonna do my makeup. And I got some products at Ulta the other day. Well, I stocked up on the Ordinary moisturizer. I never used this before, but this was on sale. I literally only got it because it was on sale. I rarely use setting powder, but I'm gonna try it today. And I also got this because it has sunscreen, so it's SPF of 30. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it. Low-key, that looks freaking darker. I may have did a bad idea and I got really lazy to get my foundation in my bathroom that was running out and just ask ChatGPT what my skin color was. But we'll fucking find out. If not, I have leftover from the other ones I used. Okay, so let me moisturize my face first. Okay, we got new products. Shout out to the Ordinary. Hi, Angel. Hey, little bitty cat. Okay, so I was always in middle school, if I am remember correctly. I was always a book reader. I think morning of the school, I would always be a bookworm. I remember reading The Maze. I would always read The Maze Runner and then a bunch of trilogy books as a middle school student. That's the earliest I can remember. I could probably read in elementary school, but honestly, that memory is a blur. If you know why, you know why. There's a lot of missing gaps in my history up in this noggin, but I used to always read a lot, and I think as I got into high school, I still read. I was really a nerd. I still am. I love reading. And then I think when I started dating, I did not read as much, and that was because my partner at the time did not read, and there wasn't really an emphasis of that, so I dropped it. I literally only read for romance and things like that. I mean, that's still reading, but you can't really get much from it. And so I only read in college just to pass the class. And I kind of dropped it, to be honest, which is really sad, because after college, I didn't read at all, and became single and whatnot. I just focused on work, and it wasn't until that I went back into my master's and I had start reading for school, and I was reading off and on, to be honest. I follow a lot of even though I wasn't an active reader, I still followed a bunch of book Instagram accounts, quotes, a lot of book talk people, and things like that. So I was still kind of in the book world, if that makes sense, but I didn't read as much as I do now. And then I started picking it back up because I realized how nice it was, and also I would pick up old books I used to have a while back and look at my notes that I annotated, and realize how much I changed, well, as a person as well. And then another thing too was that it was so interesting seeing my past versions of me commenting on quotes in the book and how much I changed as a person. So when I picked it back up, it was seeing my younger self, which is kind of nice. I also picked up back some journaling books. I journaled a lot. I think when I was a few years ago, I picked it up, and so I was able to see different past versions of myself, and it was nice to see. But what I never played about was my education. So even though I dropped reading here and there, I never played about my education. I always knew, no matter I always knew if this would pump out shit. The fuck? Hello, Elf. What is you doing? You can hear it too. Girl, Miss Girl. The fuck? Am I supposed to like Pookie Bear? Pook! What the fuck is you doing? The fuck? Oh my god, I got lotion on my hands. I can't fucking twist this shit open. I jinxed it. I jinxed it saying I wasn't gonna use it. Fucking bitch. How am I supposed to have a full coverage, long-lasting, dewy finish if it won't even let me use it? Oh, I found it. JK. JK. Holy fuck. That don't even look like my shade. Could I return open products and tell them it wasn't my shade? Or should I just go tanning? Holy fucking... You know, this is what I get for asking ChatGPT. And I knew it. I was like, I look kind of... It was the lighting in that picture that made me look darker than I actually was. And I asked ChatGPT for my fucking skin color. I'll see. Fuck it. It's already on my face. Holy fuck, I look orange. Holy shit. Holy pale. I'm not doing. Oh my goodness. Girl, what was I saying? I don't even remember. Stop it! Hey. Leave my backpack alone. Stop it. My cat's really gnawing the backpack out of my backpack. Anyways, shit, I was spell. What I was saying, oh my god. Maybe I shouldn't force it. What I was saying is, I don't even remember what I was saying. Holy yap! Holy shit! One second. Anyways. So this is the shade I'm wearing. And it's also SPF. But what shade is this? Hold on. This is shade... I had to open it too because it was still foundation. This is shade... Oh my god, is it because I ripped the top that I can't find the shade? But let's just say it's not this... Low-key, it does look the same. Does it look the same? No, one's lighter. From here, you can definitely see one's lighter. Yeah, you can even fucking see in the camera. I'm blind. I trusted ChatGPT. Anyways, maybe that could be my summer shade when if I tan, if I do. Jesus Christ. But yeah, so then I just spent like the last 4 minutes just a small crash out on my foundation. But I don't know if I should return it. I think I probably should because I'm not gonna use it. Trust me, I bought it because I opened this to use it. The top is missing because I was yank. Like, but always focus on your education. Because I remember I was still young and I didn't really have guidance on kind of relationship, what a healthy relationship should look like. I honestly learned a lot of it from trial and error and talking to people, be friends with people, having people betray me, having people lie me into my face, even though I knew that they were lying, but I wanted to give them a chance despite my intuition telling me not to listen to them. And one thing that has never failed me is my education. And I think everyone who's watching this, especially women and those who have experienced heartbreak, love, and friendship break, I don't know, I think friendship doesn't really do much with education, but it can affect education. But a man will leave you, but not your education. And that's one thing that you can never someone can never take your education away from you. And I mean, like, your degree, how smart you are up in this head noggin. And so it is always good to prioritize yourself, your health, your education, because not only will it improve you as a person, you see the world in a different lens, and it also opens up more doors to you as well. My cat's just very bored. It opened doors for you, and also lets you connect with people you didn't know you could connect with, especially if you're on top of it. And there's more things to do than just going to school. There's networking events, there's internships, there's traveling abroad. Like, there's so much that you could do with education. It's endless. Like, oh, that's definitely my shade. Definitely my shade. But you should never depend on a guy financially either. And one thing about education is that there is financial literacy. And so teaching yourself about how you savings account, stocks, investing, 401k, HSA, investing in your current stock market and other stock markets, even just learning about it if you can't. The benefits of having different citizenship and investments, real estate, owning property, end of the year taxed, trust funds, owning like property with or without under your name, things like that. Anything can be learned through education. So it's not just being like book smart as well. There are some things, I mean, obviously, like, I grew up with like, are you book smart or street smart? And a lot of people call me obviously book smart. But honestly, both are very good teachers in life. But there are some things in books that cannot be taught in real life, or vice versa. Sometimes books teach you something and then you see it in real life. So it's giving like example and receipts, And so it's always good to have both in your life, to be book smart and street smart. Obviously, I threw myself into the world, and so it was some life experience. So I'm like, this shit traumatized me, but it was a great teacher, if that makes sense. Like, would I want to go through it again? Hell fucking no. But am I able to tell other people my life experience and be like, the reason why you should go to school, or the reason why you should pick up a damn book, or the reason why you should this, and take a very important aspect in your life with education, no matter where you are, if you're married or you're single, or if you have a baby on the way. I've met many people on very different paths of their lives. And so it doesn't matter, like, I've seen so many people on different paths, different ages, But the one thing is that education can save you a lot, and that's what it did to me. How can I don't even have I see, I don't use a sponge, as you can see. I literally use my bare hands. But education is very personable to me because not a lot of people see this, obviously, because social media doesn't really show you kind of people's behind the scenes, the way they grew up. But I wonder where I can put this powder. Can I just like put it in here? Yeah, I guess. Ooh, fuck, I should have never done that. You see, this is why I never used this. I forgot how to. Of course, the powder would do that. But education saved me because I remember being very young. I was like, I want to get out of this house. There's a lot going on. It's not very the best. It's very toxic. And the only way I saw out of this home, the most less chaotic way, was education. I told myself, I was like, the way I'm gonna move out of this house is to pass high school, get accepted into college, and then leave. Because I saw with other people and with family members what happened if they did or did not get an education. Oh my god, I'm just putting it everywhere. But yeah, and so that's what I did as a student. I was, even though I wasn't able to walk my high school graduation because I ended up was skipping a lot due to like mental health reasons, I was like, after getting my high school diploma, I was like, I'm gonna get my shit together and still go to school. So I went to community college. Honestly, that shit was a breeze for me. And then, I mean, I think I kind of struggled a bit, but honestly, my teachers were very supportive. Oh, look at that powder flying around. But yeah, I was like, no one's gonna take this away from me. After I finished my associates, I was like, I'm transferring over to UT. It was funny because I think I was a very young high school student. I was like, I put UT on my Facebook when I still use Facebook. Oh my god, those Facebook days. I was going all the way back to my middle school days, and it was like, share, repost, or it was like this for a true, like, what I think about you post. Oh, that shit was so fucking funny. And I used to have my hair like that. My half emo face. Is that even considered emo? Stop fighting. But yeah, and then I got accepted into UT Austin. I did use a pity story, but to be honest, it wasn't pity. It was rephrased in a way of very like, this is what I've learned from my situation, and this is why I'm really passionate about sociology. The reason why I don't know if I've said this before, but the reason why I did sociology as a undergrad, even though I'm definitely not using it right now at all, I'm in higher education, is because I had a high school teacher. It's so funny, but I said this in one of my videos. I literally skipped economics in order to be her class in first period because she was my safe space, and I learned a lot in her class. I had a few moments of crashing out, not gonna lie, because I grew up in you are shaped who you are in your environment. I took a very, I guess you can say, I took a fancy into sociology, the study of human psychology, as a very young person because I myself was trying to figure out why all of these things are happening to me externally and also internally. It fascinated me because I was trying to understand human behavior because I couldn't understand my parents. And so that was an outlet for me, was hence I guess you can call it education too. I use myself as a case study, which is probably like, it's just like, what the fuck is she on? I'm sober too. I'm doing all this shit sober, but I remember I had to do like, in a sense, like a family tree, like a genealogy, and a lot of shit was missing. I have a lot of genealogy. Anyways, but and I realized it was kind of all over the place, so I used myself as a case study, and I found out. I found out, but it was, truth was always there in a sense. I just understood myself more objectively and try to see myself from like an outsider point of view. And the more I did that research on myself, the more I don't think I need to do this because I have like low key like but yeah, and so I was able to see myself from like an outsider point of view, but then also it caused me to crash out because when I tried to tell my parents about it from like an objective level, like, hey, like we are who we are because of our trauma, and like I didn't like the way you raised me because of X, Y, and Z, and like me trying to have a normal conversation with both of my parents, and it became like I was the crazy one, which was weird because I was like, I did all of this work to still be to still be misunderstood. And so obviously, being the first in my family to go to college, all this information was being bombarded onto them, and they were just like, what the fuck is she on? But you know, the more I grew up, the more I realized that like you can't change your parents, and the gap will just keep going. I think what happens a lot is that when you educate yourself and the more you learn, you realize that you and your family, like not on like a emotional sense, depending on how you are with your family, but the more you get educated, the more the gap between you and your family kind of goes on a, I don't want to say like intellectual level, but if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But it's like you see the world very differently once you start getting educated and you realize everything that is the way it is because you read, because you go travel, and you're not limited to this very, I guess smaller mindset that you used to be in. And so who I was, you know, in high school, who I was 5 years ago, who I was 2 and even 1 year ago is very vastly different because I really, you know, before I used to be very scared of like crash outs and things like that, but now I kind of welcome it because I'm just like, you know what? The universe is making me crash out, or they're bringing this person into my life in order for me to learn something. So why not just try to control everything? Because, you know, that's what I try to did. I mean, as a kid, you know, you can't really control anything. You try to put, how would I say this? I think as humans, and as someone who studies psychology and the human and the way it works, like I understand so many concepts, and I try to control every little thing because I feel like a puppeteer, and I'm the puppet, and I'm trying to control all scenarios that happen, and like I'm able to envision it like fucking Doctor Strange or some fucking shit. But I try to like analyze my life and make the best decision possible. But the thing is, like, that's not how life works. Where's my bronzer? Where did it go? But yeah, I guess I'll just use this. And so it goes to show you that, like, even though as humans we try to control everything, that's just not the way it's gonna work. The universe has things bigger and better planned for you. And so there's only so much that you can control. I think you should still keep going towards what you plan, but obviously along the way things are gonna change. And there are just so many outcomes and outliers that you don't know is gonna show up, and what you plan is probably gonna go out the window anyways. Like, I remember I tried to control so much of my life because my life was and chaos. And so being able to control my environment was what gave me peace, because my childhood was very chaotic, very 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 chaotic. And so I low-key repeated that as I grew older. That was my sense of normal. And so I learned a lot through my interactions with people, and just reading about it. It's one thing to like have toxic behaviors, and then when you sit down with you, it's a self-awareness for me. When you sit down with yourself and then you just like, I'm repeating these toxic behaviors because of X, Y, and Z reading, and then you read a book or you in a psychology class or some shit. I remember I took a few psychology classes in undergrad, but you take a psychology class or you read a book and you're just like, I am literally this definition, or I'm literally acting like this because of childhood. And honestly, a lot of shit can, the way you are as a person, does tie back into how you grew up, your family, your upbringing, the religion you grew up in, X, Y, Z. And so it's kind of scary, not gonna lie, but it's because I always try to like, oh no, but yeah, that's always true. And so a lot of a small chunk, it's not a lot of your whole life, to be honest, but a small chunk. Hopefully it is a small chunk for most of us. Some of us it's not, but hopefully a small chunk of your life is to unlearn your adolescent years. So I guess from 0 to 20 or something like that, until you leave college, it's like you're still a child, and it's not until you kind of graduate and work is when you actually start living life, like. And some people, they don't go to college, so I guess they start earlier, but it depends, because every life is trajectory is different. But from here to X amount of years, you're still an adolescent, and then you go into college, and there's still kind of structures, that makes sense. You're still on like a kind of schedule, you're adulting. Some people are doing internships, so sometimes they start living life while they're in college and traveling and whatnot. Some don't, some only start doing that after college. And so you're technically not living life until after college, you're being an adult. XYZ. I look orange. Do I look orange? I can't tell. But I think I'm done. No, yeah, I am done. I think that's it. But yeah, and so I think I'm on a tangent now. But yeah, I mean, life is life. Can never predict what it's gonna come out to be. But what I can say is that no matter where life has taken me, or throughout my failed relationships, I wouldn't say failed. Let me backtrack that. Let me not say that. Because I wouldn't say it's failure. I feel like I learned something out of all my relationships, whether they were short or not. I always learn something about myself in these relationships, because I take my relationships very sacred. Whether that's through work or friendship or romantically, like, because you are who you surround yourself with. Their thoughts become your thoughts. Underlying on an unsubconscious or subconscious level, their habits, you start picking up on their habits, because what are we? We are humans. And so, oh my god, this line is so cute. And so we pick up on people's habits, and I think because the way my brain functions, I have noticed that I pick up on people's mannerisms really quicker compared to other people. Like, I catch on to people's people's catchphrases, like 1 or 2 catchphrases, like there are some mannerisms that people I don't even talk to anymore, like we've fallen out or we're not friends anymore, and I still have Like I still remember one or two mannerisms, the way they act, the jokes they would say, their own catchphrases, their own human catchphrases. Like there's always a phrase that some people always say, and it's their lingo, and I remember them, and I still either hold on to it, or I still do it, or I don't do it. And sometimes I can't control it. Like sometimes people say like different catchphrases, and I'm like repeating it, or they used to always order this one dish, and now that I ordered that dish, it's because of them. So it's like I don't say it's not a montage. What is it called? Like a memento. But yeah, and so it's weird to say this, but like even if I'm not friends with people anymore, like some of their things that they have done with me or memories still live with me, whether it's specific items or specific sayings or even through food. Like I can't get rid of it. I just learn to just be like, oh, like that that was their thing, and and so yeah. I can't even see, bro. Yes, I am using my camera as a mirror. But yeah, and all in all, oh my god, there's like 32 minutes. But oh fuck shit. I need to sharpen it, because what the hell was that? But yeah, never take your education for granted. I think some people, because in our and I want to say in our country, but and this is my bias, I guess. But it's not free. Education is not free. Our taxes are paying for it. There's nothing free in this world. But we have the luxury of being able to go to school and having most of us have free reduced lunch, and because of that, education has been taken for granted. Like in Vietnam and in different countries, you have to pay out of your own pocket money for elementary school, for middle school, for high school, and for college. Like there's no fucking break in between. And they still gotta pay taxes, I think. Of course, who doesn't pay taxes? But I think they still have to pay taxes too. And so it goes to show you that like, is education more valued because there's a cost to it? Like, do we have to let people know to actually take their education seriously if we tell them like, this is all your tax dollars going to education, and the importance of education and whatnot? Like, have we removed that sense of urgency in education on purpose? And so you shouldn't. Excuse me. You shouldn't take your education for granted, because it only betters you. It never takes anything away from you. And not only that, in a sense, it also protects you, because now that I have in my master's and whatnot, and have graduated my bachelor's degree, which is, I thought I would be done after that. It has secured me a job, mind you. So like I thought that because this is the mindset I grew up with. I thought after finishing college, I'm gonna have a 9 to 5 job and I'll be done and that's it. And I didn't want to settle, and so I went to school. I went back to school to be more and to do more, which is nothing wrong with that. But my job was able to secure me. My job, my schooling. My bachelor's degree was able to secure me a job, and there are only some jobs that only need they want and they need a bachelor's degree to even work there. And so my job allowed me to do my job. Now I'm mixing up the terminology. My schooling was able to get me and secure me into some places which some people cannot. And so that's the importance of education, is that not only, I guess if I could summarize this, because it's getting long. And honestly, who would watch fucking 35 minutes? I mean, unless you're fucking eating and watching this shit, then yeah, that makes sense. Background noise, no, I'm just joking. But yeah, like schooling for so many people means different things. It could mean repetition, not repetition. Reputation. It could mean reputation. Um, it could mean power, stability. My mind's blanking, but you see where I'm trying to go. Like education will open doors, yada 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 yada. Yes, you talked about it for a good half hour, but yeah. And so this is my makeup. I'm like, how the fuck do I end this shit now? Because it's definitely not planned, as you can see. But this is my makeup. You guys have a good day. And look how fluffy my hair is. Like, it looks voluptuous. Okay, bye guys. Have a good one.